How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called Selendra. And we are going to start with the description, as always, and it says, Welcome to Selendra. The Selendra map is modeled after the Balkan terrain. The main part of the map is a forest that has very inaccessible terrain. Start your career and discover the numerous challenges that await you. On the map, you will find small fields and things like varied terrain, added trees and foliage textures, new ground paint textures, 5 playable farms, changed lighting, 32 fields, gas station, possible to fill water from pond, animal dealers, collectible, sawmill, points of sale, selling bales, points of selling products, points of selling grain, milk sales points, seasonal objects, very detailed forest with very challenging terrain. I hope you enjoy this map. I wish you a nice game. This map was authored by Fixie and Mex, and it's 141.94 megabytes to download. There are required mods for this, starting with the Bavarian Farm Pack by Berniske, Log Cabin Farmhouse by GTX, Polish House by Jopek56, Homestead Pig Barn by Panzer Modding, and the Barn with Cowshed by Gracchus Philippe. Let's see. So as you can see, the map in front of us is what this map looks like. Where do we start on it? If we zoom way in, we are right here, almost dead center of the map, or at least what is available for the map. If we take a look at what we own farmlands number 16 and 17, right here, again, almost dead center of the map. Field prices do vary, but in general, they're pretty cheap, because all these fields are insanely small. Like 10,000, 8,000, 21,000, like very, very small. Only time where it really gets expensive are these bigger kind of plots where the farms are, and this one in particular, because this has a silo and a couple of additional things, and this I think the largest farm that's available, 180,000 for this one. Up here in the northwest is another farm for 28,000. But yeah, I mean you're talking pretty cheap. But even though they're pretty cheap, it's going to take a while for you to actually kind of build up and get to these, just because of how small these farms are. There is a periphery, and you can see you can purchase it for $0, and it's considered farmland 1. But it does include the things like the shops and the repair triggers and things like that. So you can add things to these shop areas, but when we come to them, they're actually pretty detailed, so you might not necessarily have to or want to add anything to them. You do start with access to barns and pens for the animals. You'd have a sheep pasture, a pig pasture, chicken pasture, and barn with cowshed. There are contracts available on this map. You do not start out with any production chains, but there are a few production chains available on this map. And there are collectibles on this map. 012, it's the little slices of cheese that I believe is on, is it Erlengrot, I think is the cheese? Might be whole Bellerone, but now I can't remember exactly which one, but it's the slice of cheese, for sure. There are mods specific to this map, but only in the build mode, and it's only under landscaping and painting tools. You can see there's quite a few additional paint textures available. There are other mods and stuff that are here, but it's because of the additional required mods where you'll see these. There's nothing actually specific to the map itself that's available within the build menu or in the purchasing screen. So what we're going to do from here is take a look at this way. So right here, now my pronunciation of this is going to be terrible, so buckle up for this one. This is the Les Jardins des Fermiers Farm Shop. Sell point. Whew, that was a mouthful. So yeah, this is a sell point. If we run over here, my notes are going out of control. There we go. We open this gate. There we go. Over here we have a sleep trigger, a couple of beehives, the beehive spawn point. You do have to own the land in order for this to start producing honey. And over here we have an animal pen for our pigs. You do have access to this even though you don't have the property. You don't own the property, but you can use it. You can have up to 10 pigs here. And that's this farm here. And right across the street is our farm right over here. You can see a little Russell Mash harvester in the back. And this is our little farm. Sleep trigger right here in front of us. Couple of beehives again with a beehive spawn point, or a pallet spawn point. Couple of seed pallets and our starting equipment. It's very, very limited, the starting equipment that we have here. So let's take a look at what we actually do. Start out with, under small tractors, we have the Bauer 6105. Under harvesters, the Rosselmash Nova 330. Trailers, the Welger DK115. The header for the Rosselmash. Under plows, the Pottinger Servo 25. Under cultivators, the Raby EG3/9. And under seeders, the Nordstein HK25 plus NS3030. And that is it. Slot count is 813 out of 4,400. So you got some room to grow. And from here, we're going to hop on the Buer and take it around for the rest of the tour. We're going to head this direction. And over here, this is the Les Filatures du Couture Spinnery. Long story short, spinnery. $40,000 to purchase this. You have your inputs over there and your outputs right here. Moving on from here. Directly in front of us is the livestock market, Haut-Belleroy. That is the name of it. If we go to our map, we'll take a look at where we've been and what we've seen so far. So we started right here just beside the Les Jardins des Fermiers farm shop. We came over and checked out this farm here, the sleep trigger, as well as the beehive pallet spawn and the pig farm that's there. Went right across the street to our farm and saw the beehive pallet location, as well as some of our starting equipment just sitting around the farm. We pulled out of the starting farm, came up here, saw the Les Filatures du Couture Spinnery, and then came up here, and just to prove it, livestock market, Haut-Belleroy. Whew, that's a lot of fancy words. Anyways, over this direction, and yeah, be wary about the big ditches. We'll go ahead and park the tractor in the big ditch, because why not? Look at that. And, little spoiler, $1,000. You have the sawmill, which you can purchase for $60,000. You have your cell trigger right here, your unload point. So your inputs are there. Your outputs right here, and your spawn point for any of your wood chips is right here. Okay. And then moving on from there, we come to the next farm. First off, you have your sheep pasture, where you can have up to 15 sheep. And then another sleep trigger. You have your outputs for your sheep here, your food, your water. It is a pasture, so it does require water. Now we get to go through that little ravine again. Just be careful coming over here. If you're bringing your harvester with a big header on it, then you might get stuck. You might bottom something out there. There's quite a bit of bumpage over here. Through here, we have our chicken pasture, where you can have up to 30 chickens. And through this gate is something very interesting. I'm pretty sure this farm is owned by Rick Moranis. Anybody old enough will get that reference. Because we got tiny cows, y'all. Look at these. They're so cute. They're tiny. I think the scaling is off on this particular barn. I could be wrong. They might be like this on purpose. I don't think those are supposed to be calves. I think these are just scaled wrong. Anyways. Feed trigger here for the chickens. Feed trigger for cows are here. And you can have up to 20 cows. Hop back in the tractor. Now this is the farm that was really expensive. It's over $100,000. I think it was 120, 130 total. But you get a lot with this farm. You get the cows, the chickens, the silage clamp right there. Several gates. Can't forget about all these gates. Lots of storage. Sleep trigger here. Silo right there. This is the only farm, I believe, with a silo. Lots of storage over here. You got a manure clamp. Over here is your output for your slurry for your cows. Again, bunch of storage. But these doors take forever to open. Forever. And then more storage back here. And let's go over here and open the gate. And after we do that, let's take a look where we've been. So we were here at the livestock market, Haut-Belleron. We came out here, and came up and saw the sawmill. That's where we picked up that collectible, as well as the collection point for the wood chips. Came back out, all the way up here to this farm, and we saw the sheep, as well as the sleep trigger here. Came back out here, we came through the gates, we saw the chickens right here. We saw the cow barn right about here, the sleep trigger, the silo, and all the various storage. And that catches us back up to where we are now. We're gonna hop into the tractor and boogie out in this direction. Again, terrain gets a little rough. Over here is the debris crusher, and here is the plank selling station. Sell point for various goods. And over here, this is the Zito product sell point right here. Directly in front of us is the gas station. Now off to our left. And directly in front of us is right where we started. This little parking lot right here next to that big green tractor. Well, little green tractor. We'll come off in this direction. And we'll hop out of the tractor and come over here. This is the vehicle buy point. And then further down in the next kind of bay area is the vehicle repair point. Now I think it's up on top of these set of ramps right here. So you drive up on the ramps and you click on the repair trigger. And over here you can see, just in front of my tractor there, that little pedestal, where the first cheese wheel. If I didn't collect that cheese wheel, this pedestal would be empty, nothing there. It just gradually fills up once you get the 12 pieces. Nice little pond, like that's pretty little picture right there, I think. Come out here. Now this is kind of an interesting area over here, I thought. So you come back here. This is the animal dealer. Right here. And where is he? Yep, here he is. He's right here. Nice little old man just sitting there, tending to his sheep. Waiting for you to come by and buy them. And his cows. And then over here is the last farm that's available for purchase. This is just a sleep trigger. We'll jump that fence. Here. Open this door. And you do have a wardrobe trigger as well as a sleep trigger. They're just kind of in this little corner here, but there is no indicator as to let you know that. Nice little cabin. That's a cute little cabin. And that is it. That is the map. Now, let's kind of catch up where we were. We were here at this northern farm here, northeastern farm. Came out here, around this side road. We checked out the debris crusher as well as the plank selling station. Came back out, down here, took in the Zito product. Came out and down here, saw the gas station. Drove by our spawning location right here. Down here, we walked from our tractor and saw the vehicle shop as well as the repair trigger. And it's called the Armand Motors Vehicle Shop. Backtracked to our tractor, showed off that little pedestal right there. Came down here, we saw the animal dealer, him just sitting there tending his flock, and then came over and saw the farmhouse. And that is Selendra. Now, I'm going to drive in this direction, and I'm going to get to the part of the tour where I render my opinion. Now down here is the kind of forest area, and the drive back here is actually really intense. You can see it's very narrow. You're not going to get big equipment. You're not going to get big equipment anywhere on this map, but especially back here. Yeah, it's rough. It is rough. So you're not going to get, big old forwarders and, tree harvesters and the lot back here. And there's only one way in, one way out. But then you got a little entrance point to that grass field right there. This little switchback. Now, opinion time. Stop getting distracted and rambling. Typical 0 to 5 scale, as I always do. I would give this map probably a 3. It is a small map. It is incredibly tiny, but there are parts of it that is just really gorgeous. Like, the back here is really cool. Um, but that being said, even though this part is really pretty, it's not enough to kind of lure me into giving this a higher score, per se. Um, it's one of those that I'm not a huge fan of small maps. And this one is incredibly small. Now, part of the reason why I am not a huge fan of small maps is it just feels artificially hemmed in, and this one really kind of gives me that vibe. You've got these giant rock face walls all around the entirety of the map. And where there's not these rock face walls, it's these larger kind of hills and mounds. And I actually climbed up there earlier on a, kind of getting familiar with the map and whatnot. And I was expecting once I got to the top of the hill, maybe see a bunch of trees or something to kind of aligned or round the map kind of thing. And it really wasn't. It was just a void. So it just made the artificial hemming to me feel worse. So it just, I don't know. Some people may really like the small maps. It's just it's got to have like a real huge wow factor for me to be like, yeah, I want to play on this small map and be very precise and very fine with my movements and whatnot. And there's just something that this one's lacking that would not draw me into it. So, long story short, 3 out of 5, which is not a bad score. I think that's pretty middle of the road kind of score. There are parts of it that are just gorgeous. Like back here, I just feel like this is like as natural as a wood can be. Like, I don't know, there's just something about this that just really kind of says this is just natural looking. Like, oh hey, another wedge of cheese. But something about this just screams natural to me. It's very nice, very pretty at times, but just cannot save it, unfortunately. But that is the map tour. I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting. Do all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. That shows that you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.